Hello, everybody. Thank you for sticking around. I hope some of you were able to catch the info stream we had for D20 Pro earlier with my friend Toby. We were hoping to be joined by a representative from Board Game Arena, which is another one of the online web-based platforms where you can play board games with friends. But it looks like they have not joined yet. They are based in Europe, Eastern Europe, I think. So there might be some time zone issues. I think it's about 2:30 in the morning right now. So we were hoping that would work for them, but it looks like they may have run into some sort of issue. We will see if we can kind of touch base with them and figure out what's going on. But in the meantime, we still wanted to give you a look at what Board Game Arena looks like, how it operates, get you a little kind of familiar with stuff. And if we have more information later on, we will update everybody. So let's start. Marcus, if you can hop over to the screen share so that people are not just looking at my big ass face, we can talk about Board Game Arena overall. So, Board Game Arena is a web based client to play a variety of board games. I have it up here in the tab. We should have it up in the screen share shortly. You can get an account for it. You can get a free account for it if you want, or you can get a paid account. And the difference is that some games and priority to launch some of those games is locked to that premium account. We had a video that we did previously that was about how to play board games online, that Board Game Arena was a guest on. They were joined by Tabletopia and Tabletop Playground, I believe. And we all talked about the different approaches that they take to helping people play board games online. So if you kind of want an overview of that video is on YouTube. You can go to the Gen Con YouTube channel and search for how to play board games online to get that general context. But for Board Game Arena itself, I have this, the website open now, and you can kind of see that I'm signed into my account over here. This is the kind of homepage. You'll see that we have done some testing of a few different games back and forth as we were preparing for the stream. The information on what you get from a premium account, which I've signed up for here, you can see that there are some games that are listed as premium. You don't have any wait times if server loads are high. You can play games locally, so you can play in the same device or in the same IP address and stuff like that. And there is voice chat as well built into the premium. I did the premium that is €2 a month or €24 yearly. And these are the games that are limited to the premium subscription, basically. And there's also a monthly subscription, I believe, that is €4. So if you just want to try it out just for Gen Con Online, you can do that. But in the training and experimentation that we just did, I believe that only the host of a game needs to have the premium account to be able to let players play in that game. So just like in the real world, one person has to buy the game or has to buy the account, at least for the premium stuff, and then they can bring it and everyone else can play that game with them. We'll go into that in a little bit, but we just wanted to kind of cover the very basics here. And I think the key thing to get across is that Board Game Arena is entirely browser-based, so you should be able to play it on most computers. I'm running this on a 2015 MacBook Pro, which is a solid computer, but is certainly not top of the line anymore by any means. And it works pretty well. I believe they had mentioned that you could use iPads and stuff like that, some tablets. You probably want to have a more recent version of those kinds of things to make it work properly. But it should be an option. You won't need to worry about installing something on your computer or making sure that it's currently updated. But I haven't tried the chat functionality in here yet. But I would say that if you, in most cases, I've found that a lot of times it really helps to have your chat in a separate, stable platform that you're used to, like a Zoom call or Discord or something like that you're very familiar with. Have your video and audio chat there, independent of this, so that in case there's a account problem or a connection problem or some sort of issue with the service that you're trying to use, you have the external platform that you can still maintain contact with your players while you're resolving that situation. So in this case, we want to walk through some of the details of what it looks like when you're going to join a game and what it looks like when you're going to create a game. So Marcus is behind the camera. He's handling a lot of the production and switching for this episode. So he is going to send me an invite to play a game of Red 7. And you see that it pops up here at the top of my screen. My totally real friend has invited me to play Red 7. I'm going to accept that. And I'm going to get a banging in my ears on the door that somebody wants to play a game with me. I'm going to accept the invitation. And now the game has started. It looks like it is totally real friend's turn. But now we're in the game. They can choose to play a card. I have perhaps been a little mean to Marcus by tossing him into Red 7 without explaining in any way how Red 7 actually works, because it is an interesting and complicated game. But he played something. No, I think he may have passed. So the rule here is current rule is red, highest card wins. So I need to play a card higher than a 3. So just for make it simple, I'm going to play a 5. And I must play a card 2 palette. So I'm going to play, can I do that? I'm going to finish my move. Great. So we just went through 2 turns of Red 7 in Board Game Arena. So that's what that looks like. You know, I got a notification because we're already friends, and I just joined in the game. And once everybody has joined, he simply had to launch it. But as a player, as long as the GM has my account information, my username, that's all that we need here. So I'm going to quit this game real quick, though. I'm going to leave this game because it was a training game. And I want to show how to find other players. So if you go to community, this is where you could find a player. I would type in totally real friend, and you see that their name pops up. Alternatively, I could go over here. I made a group for Gen Con, and it looks like there are a few different Gen Con groups out there. I made this one because you can see me right there. But this is probably going to be how you will share your information with the GM. You'll sign up for a game that might be on Board Game Arena. The GM will ask you for your username for Board Game Arena, so you'll want to sign up for a free account. And then you'll provide them your username so that they can search for you here. They can go to your profile, and they can add you as a friend. So if we look at Totally Real Friend again, we go to their profile. And if I had not already added them as a friend, right here would have been add them as friend. They would get a notification, and then we would be linked. And then we can start games as a group whenever we want to. So why don't I show how that works from a GM perspective? I would click on Play Now. I would select a game. It's going to be a simple game. I'm going to do a real-time game because I want to do it while we're all together. And I'm going to choose to play with friends only. And my totally real friend is listed here. You can see that choose any game you want to start playing with totally real friend. So now you can see some games that I've marked as favorites, different ones that I want to start up and play. I'm going to choose Carcassonne. So I'm going to click Play Now. And you can see that my name is listed here. They're listed here. They already got the notification for going into this game. So I'm going to click Start Game. They just need to accept that the game has started. And now it's creating the game table. You see that it loads up, and it is my turn. So I have to place this tile. And if anybody knows Carcassonne, you know that you probably want to do this. And I can rotate the tile kind of depending on how I want to lay out my city. But I'm going to do that. So I'm going to confirm tile placement. And then I'm going to place a meeple, zoom in. I can place a meeple in the city, on the road, or in the fields. And for this purpose, I'm just going to put it in the city. It's usually a pretty safe play. And then my turn is done. And you can see that Totally Real Friend has to place a tile. which they will do any moment. Ah, they have attempted to steal my city, but again, I have been mean to Totally Real Friend because I have not explained how this game works either. See, this is really just the best way for me to rack up wins in my Board Game Arena profile, I guess. But so you can see, I started a game. I selected who I wanted to play it with. I initiated the game. They joined in. And this is the same kind of thing that you can do if you are going to host a game in Board Game Arena. And you would just have your players, you would collect their usernames, link your accounts. When you start the game, you can select which ones you want to invite to the game, and you can start. Yes, Totally Real Friend confirms that they are not a robot, confirms that they are excited to play a game without knowing the rules. And now I have to place a tile again. So that's how this game's going to flow back and forth. Maybe I'll place it right there. I can rotate it. But since I think most folks know how to play Carcassonne, and our intent here is Board Game Arena, so I can pan and zoom a little bit there. I'm going to exit this game as well. Exit. I'm going to leave game. And that brings us back to kind of a summary of how it worked out. So I think that the next thing that we might want to talk about is just the selection of games on Board Game Arena. So if you go to games, you can use this to filter, apply a lot of different filters, a lot of different number of players, how long it normally takes to play, what level of complexity you want. You can do it by theme, whether you've played them or not, whether you haven't played them, or you can click on all games. And here, anything that has this little banner is that you must be a premium member if you want to start a game of that type. And that is why I started the Carcassonne game, because I'm a premium member. And Totally Real Friend is not a premium member, which is why I had him start a Red 7 game, because I didn't require that. So you'll see some games like Hanabi, Seasons, Takenoko, all great games that don't require a premium account. But Seven Wonders, Carcassonne, Terra Mystica, Puerto Rico, games that do require a premium account. So you want to keep that in mind about what kind of account you need to have if you're going to submit a game. But remember, as long as the person running the game doesn't have or does have the premium account, you should not need it to join their game. And you can see kind of what selection of games are available, or you can just go to boardgamearena.com and check it out there. So that is one of the tools you can use to play games online. I was hoping that we could have somebody from Board Game Arena here to talk through some of the details about how the thing works, some tips, tricks, things like that. Hopefully they will be able to prepare some kind of documentation for folks who are going to join the platform from Gen Con. And when we have anything like that from them, we will share that with folks. But keep an eye out for our social media for updates. You probably also want to reach out to them or check in with them if you have any particular questions about how the platform works. Or you can just do what I did with Marcus, my Totally Real Friend, where we booted it up, messed around, started a game, started a different game, poked around. If any of the games that are available on Board Game Arena are favorites of yours, then I absolutely would recommend, maybe even just submitting one session or two of them over the course of the weekend. Even if you're not running a ton of games, just to give yourself something solid that you know that you're going to do, something that you've got to help other people through the course of the weekend. Welcome them online, basically, even if you're learning yourself. But I do think that I would recommend that you have a separate video and audio chat, because otherwise, as you can see, when Totally Real Friend and I were playing, we were playing the game. We were focused on the game, but there was not that camaraderie. It made it a lot easier for me just to abandon Totally Real Friend and exit out of the game. So I think if you want to really maintain that social feeling of being sitting around the same table. I would still recommend a Zoom call or a Discord call or Jitsi or something like that to make everyone give everyone a chance to kind of talk with and chat with each other. But I think that is about all that we really need to cover on Board Game Arena. You go to Play Now to start a game. You select the kind of game you want, the speed, and who you want to play it with, and then you can launch the game. If you want to search for the games and see what's available, you just click on Games. If you want to find somebody, whether it's the GM or the players, and you want to add them so that you can play with them after Gen Con, then you go here, you join a group, or you find the player and add them as a friend. And that is Board Game Arena. So we will be having more Gen Con info streams. Next week, we should have Fantasy Grounds, Astral, and Tabletopia. Fantasy Grounds and Astral are both RPG-focused kind of virtual tabletops. Fantasy Grounds is a program you download. I believe it's on sale on Steam right now, actually. And Astral is an online web-based one, kind of like Roll20. And then Tabletopia is another web-based service similar to Board Game Arena that allows you to choose board games and play them online. We have a lot of other streams that we'll be covering over the next week as well. On Mondays, every 6 p.m. at Pacific time, we have Board Games with the Brothers Murph. On Wednesdays at 11:30 p.m., we have This Game Gets Dicey with Paula and Matthew. And 4 p.m., we have Fireside with Peter Atkinson. After that is when we will have Fantasy Grounds on Wednesday. And then on Friday at 2 p.m., we have Table Takes. And then starting at 3:30, we will be doing Astral and then Tabletopia. So remember to follow the channel. If you're looking for any of the episodes that we've done previously, like if you missed D20 Pro that we just did, you can find that video on YouTube. Everything goes up about 24 hours later. So make sure to follow here. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube. Turn on notifications so that you know when we go live. Sign up for the newsletter. There's a whole lot of information that needs to come out for Gen Con Online, and you're going to want to absorb as much of it as you can before you have to sign up for events. That process will begin on July 13th. So that's the key thing you want to keep in your mind, is that July 13th is when event registration will open, and you will be able to reserve a slot, a seat for yourself at thousands of different games and events that you can play during Gen Con Online at the end of August. If you are an event organizer and you want to make sure that your event is included in that initial blast, that initial wave when the floodgates open and the attendees can rush in and reserve seats where they want, then you'll want to make sure to submit your event in our system and have it ready to go by the end of June. If you have any questions, email events@gencon.com about running games, or email customer service at gencon.com about buying tickets and getting a badge, which is free online right now. And I hope that we will see you in a future stream. Thank you very much for sticking around. I hope that you learned something here about Board Game Arena, and I hope that you catch our future streams.